Hi and welcome to the Bezier Node Quickstart guide. Let's get started by adding Bezier Node to our solid. And here we have a line drawn from start to end, and using these icons we can move the start and end. We can also apply expressions to these or parent them to other layers. Stroke width can go from 0 to really fat. That's important in case you want to create like a transition with it, or just you want a really fat line. And to explain curvature, let's turn on the handles here. So we can see the handles sort of resize based on how big or small our curve is. And these are percentage based. So 0 is it's a straight line. 100% is it's as curvy as it could be without these curves overlapping each other. If we pushed it past 100, we can see the curves overlap each other. And we can also go negative if we want. If we want to change the axis of these handles, we can change the axis here to Y. And we also have some settings if you wanted to keep these handles on, but you wanted them to look a bit different from the main curve, you can do that there. Now the symmetry feature, what that does is it adds an extra curve that mimics the end position. So the end position has become symmetrical here. And if we have symmetry turned on and we add additional lines, that will then fill the space equally with extra lines. If symmetry is turned off, the lines will space themselves out on the single side. Now gradient fill, what that does is it creates a gradient, and the gradient resizes itself between the start and end points. We have linear by default, but radial is more customizable because you can change the smoothness from not very smooth to very smooth. Then we also have start and end colors and start and end opacities as well. Now we also have dashes, and these sort of inherit the cap style that we have. So I'm going to jump down here and change the cap style to but. And then let's make the dashes long and the gaps long, and then we can offset those forward or backwards, however you like. We also have trim paths, where we can set the start from 100 to 0 or 0 to 100, depending on which way you want it. Or once you've done your trim path, you can then offset that. And we'll talk more about the multi-line parameters here in the in-depth tutorial, because trim paths get a bit more complicated when there's additional lines. Now here we have opacity, which is a global opacity, which sort of adds on if you still have the start opacity and end opacity. And composite over original, this setting will composite the line on top of your original layer. This is useful if you had, say, two separate lines rather, and you wondered where your first line went to. Well, you need to composite that over the original line. So that's it for the quick start guide. If you'd like some more information, check out the in-depth one, and make sure you check out plugineverything.com, where we have some cool plugins and even some free stuff.